How much is too much to invest when dating? And did Queen Bee really slay Tampa Bay? We're having simply necessary conversations about how being from different generations influences our perspectives on life.
I'm Tangela, and we're your favorite May-June mother-daughter duo.
Don't believe the lies you've heard about Geminis. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. So, first segment of the day is trending topics, and something that I am chronically seeing online and arguing with my guy friends about every other day is how much do you invest in your partner when dating, or how much do you invest in someone that you're newly seeing? I saw a tweet that was posted by Spiritual Word, and basically what happened was someone was dating someone, and the guy sent the girl money, like $450, to get her nails and hair done because, according to him, she kept curving him because her nails and hair weren't done in order to go on the date.
That should have been a red flag.
Yeah. So then, after he sends her the money, she texts him back and is just like, wait. No, actually, I want you to come to my house and I'll cook for you because I use that money to pay bills. So then he kind of got in his feelings because he was like, hey, I didn't send you that money for your bills. I sent you that money to look nice so I could take you out. And previously you said that on the first link, I couldn't come over to your house. But now all of a sudden it's cool. So that's kind of been the great debate online about kind of, was he stupid for sending her $450? Was she irresponsible to use the money for bills when it was supposed to have a specific purpose? And basically, like what's going on with the situation? Is it shady or not?
Well, first of all, I definitely feel like it was somewhat bait and switch. Like,
Yeah.
If you are telling him you want to get your hair and nails done so you look nice so y'all can go out, and then he sends you the money and you use it to pay bills, that is definitely bait and switch, no question. But then I also question why he, especially if they were in a committed relationship of some kind.
They are not in a committed relationship.
So, like, why is he feeling like he should finance her beauty regimen?
Okay, so from what I've learned from my homeboys is that they kind of have an expectation that they have to pay for whatever girl they're talking to's hair and nails and, like, her upkeep, which to me is crazy because I've never had a man pay for my hair and nails. I paid $75 myself, and I did my own hair. So when they talk about that, I'm just like, who are these women that's asking you to pay for their hair and nails?
Exactly. Okay. So, new to the dating scene. But, okay, when I was married, I expected that.
Yeah, because you were a wife.
Because I was a wife. And we agreed that I would be a work from home. I hate to say stay at home because everybody stays at home. I worked from home. So, like, my job was, taking care of you, taking care of the house, managing it. Basically, I was the household management person. So I didn't work.
And you also invented a product, and you also had a blog.
I was working on different things. And it was agreed upon. So naturally, I expected that if I needed money for something, okay, he provided it because I was providing the things that I agreed to provide. But if I was dating somebody, there is nothing in my mind that would make me think that he should pay for anything. Now, if he said, hey, for your birthday, for Christmas,
for a reason.
Or even he just wanted to treat me. Hey, I'm going to pay for you to have these things done. Okay, great, pay for them. Mm-hmm. But there would be no expectation that he would do that. And then I, as a woman, I don't understand even asking somebody to do that.
Girls literally will be like, oh, like, you're not paying for my hair and nails, and don't ask me for no pictures of my nails or my hair. Don't ask me to go out. Like,
that's a paid escort.
No, I'm like, it's really kind of giving that you're pimping yourself.
That's a paid escort
for some free hair. To me, now I know a lot of people that think like this, and no shade to them. A lot of them are my friends. No shade to y'all, but for me personally, I don't want a man, especially like we're not even boyfriend and girlfriend. We haven't even had the exclusivity conversation yet, and I'm expecting you to pay for my hair and nails. Like, no, that's kind of crazy to me. Just because, especially for my age group, which is kind of the people that are having these.
I don't even understand why at your age, in your 20s.
Who got money in their 20s? Like, honestly, who has money in their 20s to be able to fund that?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't even understand older women that think, okay, like I said, if he offers that, we're going out on a date, we're going somewhere special, I want you to look as nice as possible.
I bought you a dress
or I bought you a dress, or hey, here's some money, go buy you something nice. That's fine, because grown men should, if they're trying to date a woman, be in a position where they can do nice things for her. It's not expected, nor are they obligated, but he should be able to do nice things for her. But there should not be an expectation. Now, if you say to me, I want to take you somewhere and you need to be dressed in a very specific way, and it's something that I'm doing kind of because you need me to look a certain way and you want to pay for me to get those extras, great. But again, I don't understand these women that think that men are automatically supposed to pay for things for them, because
I feel like pretty privilege is a real thing.
It is.
And I feel like some women ride off of pretty privilege till the wheels fall off. Like, just because you're pretty, just because you keep yourself together and all the guys are sliding your DMs, that don't mean that this man should be your personal bank. This is not Bank of America, baby. Go get a job.
And what happens when said man is no longer a part of
your
life?
A new man.
So you got to bounce from man to man, expecting him to maintain your upkeep? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I feel like if you can't pay for it yourself, then it should not be a part of your regular routine.
I feel like a lot of these younger women expect men to be like on they Zoom. They want them to already have everything that a 45-year-old would have. And unless you're willing to date that 45-year-old, a 20-something-year-old is probably not going to be able to fund you going and doing everything in the world that you can't even afford to pay for yourself.
Yeah. Newsflash, too. Just because he's older doesn't mean he's financially able to
that too,
support your habits, because there are some, unfortunately, broke older men that, might want to date somebody but can't afford it. Now, my strict rule is, if you can't do things for me, you can't pay for extras for me and all of that, but you're, being somewhat responsible, okay, fine. But what you can't do is want me to pay for you.
That's the thing. Like, what I'm not about to do is start, paying for my man to be able to do certain things.
No, ma'am, no, sir.
Now, if it's a situation where you struggling and I got to pay for myself and you pay for yourself, that's perfectly understandable at this age. And even
at your age,
even in the future, if you lose your job or something miraculous happens and you got to get back on your feet. But by no means am I going to start taking care of a man. Now, I completely get the hot girlies on that. I'm not going to start taking care of you. And then you're still trying to thump your chest and act like you're the man. But I'm also not going to expect you to just hand me $500 just for my bills. Like, why can't I pay my own bills?
And let me put a caveat on that. If you're dating somebody that you know is wealthy.
Okay, now
a well-known person that you know is wealthy, I would expect that person to be at least willing to do more things for me than somebody that has a 9-to-5 blue-collar, white-collar job. Everything is relative. If I know you're a freaking billionaire and you're not at least trying to treat me every now and then, we got a problem.
I mean, if you're a billionaire, then
even somebody that is a six-figure individual, everything is relative. If he can afford to do said things and he wants to do them, great, but he's not obligated. The only time there's an obligation, I feel like, is if you are married to someone, and even with that, prior to going into the marriage, you need to make some type of agreement or have some kind of understanding how money's going to be spent. Yeah. There are some couples that they have separate money, they split everything down the middle. That's great for some people. There are some people that they pool all the money and then, they take care of whatever it is that each one of them agree to take care of. There are some couples where one person pays all the bills and the other person pays for the fun. It is all up to the individual couples, but they have to decide that preemptively. But just dating somebody, when you're dating somebody, other than, especially if you agree that you're going to be mutually exclusive, like nobody else, y'all are in a true relationship, other than them being faithful and not seeing other people, there are no guarantees. And so you just kind of have to work that out. But to sit back and think that a man is automatically going to pay for hair and nails, makeup, fancy clothes, all that, to me, again, that's a paid escort.
It just gives it where is your ambition? I personally don't like for men to pay for things for me. Now, if you invite me out, guys have invited me out to do specific things, then I kind of expect you to pay, because I was not coming and looking for you. You came looking for me and want to do something. So
right, and even that's with any situation where if you invite somebody out, if it's just friends, you kind of get to understand. Okay, if I don't say I'm gonna treat you,
then don't assume that.
If I don't say I'm going to treat you, that means we can go out together. We each are going to pay for ourselves. If I'm going to treat you, I'm going to let you know that in advance. And see, because I'm a realistic chick and I don't have any problems letting you know where your limits are. I'm going to tell you in advance. I'm going to treat you can order something as long as it don't cost more than blah blah blah. Because I'm not gonna go somewhere with somebody and they run up a tab and then now I'm responsible.
You have to have those conversations in advance. Like me and my friends know we are all young. I'm the only person that one of my other friends is working, but I'm the only person with like a full-time big girl job. You know, we already know when the waiter comes and says, is this going to be on the same tab or are we splitting everybody in unison? Splitting. We already know what the vibes are because we're not trying to treat each other. Now, if it's somebody's birthday or I lost a bet or, like if there's a reason, then that reason is going to be obvious.
Yeah, I think, if you're invited out by a guy, and even with that, I'm not going to assume that he's paying. I'm going to ask him, okay, are we going out on a date and you're treating, or are we just going out and hanging out together and I'm paying for myself, which is perfectly fine in the initial stages. Now, once we become exclusive and I'm your, and I hate to say this because I'm too grown to be somebody's girlfriend, but if I'm your quote unquote girlfriend, then I have a different expectation.
See, my issue is I don't clarify whether it's a date or not.
Yeah, I know.
Because I really don't be caring. If we have a good time and you decide to pay, I'm still probably not going to call it a date. Unless the man says this is a date, I'm not calling it a date.
And then the question with that even is it a date if somebody is just your friend? Like you're kind of in a gray area sometimes. It could be a
friend. It depends on how y'all became friends. Like, that's a very complicated.
It's a whole thing.
Because, like, it depends on how y'all became friends. If the friendship is, like, a flirty friendship versus just a strictly platonic friendship.
You got to keep in mind, too, people have different expectations and different ideas about things. Because somebody told me one time, there was a whole situation. It was like, well, that's what girlfriends do. I'm like, not this one.
You have to clarify. That's why I believe in being friends with somebody before you start dating them, because clarity is everything. And if you're not friends with that person, you really don't know how they think about relationships. You don't know what their morals are. You don't know how their family life is. Because I done heard some outlandish things from some of my homeboys where I'm just like, oh, that's what you think?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Like, because if they're used to a certain caliber of women, because there are those women that will try to buy themselves a man.
Oh, yeah. They playing Build-A-Bear Workshop with they man.
I'm not her. I'm not trying to build a man. So, like, there are those women that will go out and buy him clothes and take him out or whatever. Now, I have no problem, again, sometimes you treat me, sometimes I treat you if we're seeing each other. But by no means, if I'm more financially stable than you, am I going to ever be that woman that, because you my man and I want you to look good, I'm buying you that.
It's really giving you our pimp of the year, where's your cane?
Yeah, like I don't wear fur. I don't wear fur.
Dolomite is not my name.
Don't have a cane. Do not drive a caddy. I'm not trying to treat somebody, especially not a man, on a regular basis, because like at that point, are you with me because you want to be with me, or are you with me because of the treats that
But I honestly feel like I feel bad for people, not even just women, guys too. I feel like anyone that feels the need to buy love and affection is either insecure within themselves and within what else they can bring, just personality, looks wise, whatever it may be, or they feel like the person is going to leave if I don't continue to take care of them. And I feel that's not no way to live. Like, somebody should be loving you unconditionally, whether you got money or not.
Exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of times, especially when you may lose a man to a woman that's more willing to
do a lot of stuff.
Do a lot of things. Yeah. And I say, let him go pick the low hanging fruit is all I can say.
If you like it, I love it for you, baby.
I'm not her.
I'm not competing. I'm not arguing.
I'm not her. Yeah. That whole thing. But women need to be more realistic with their expectations. Young women, especially these young men, some of them are still in college. Some of them, have jobs and they're trying to pay, their student loans back. You cannot ask somebody to do something for you, or you shouldn't. If you care about the person, you shouldn't ask somebody to do something for you if you know that you're causing them undue stress. If they care
about you, they're not finna let you run up a credit card bill for them or make you uncomfortable. Like, I'm the type of girl, if you just want to take me for a walk in the park, I got you, babe. Let's go. You want to go do a picnic? You want to put a blanket on the floor and watch Netflix together? Like, okay.
It's like the thing that was trending where the guy wanted to take the woman out on the first date for just ice cream, and she showed her behind.
No, that lady was insane. I'm so sorry.
She was like, that wasn't a date, and blah, blah. It's like, ma'am.
I was like, I've been taken out for ice cream before, and I had me a good old time. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was, to me, so crazy because for me, I'm more impressed by a date where somebody put thought into it, listen to me, knows what I like to do.
Exactly.
Versus go sit down at an expensive restaurant, throw some money at it. Because I found people will throw money at things a lot easier than they will put thought into trying to make sure that they're doing something that's going to make you happy. And let me just tell Miss Lady with the nails and the hair and all of that, depending on the kind of man you're dealing with and based on her conversation and what she was saying, she's probably dealing with, well, I shouldn't say probably, maybe dealing with some men that are getting money in ways that are not necessarily the normal way to get money, the legal way to get money. Those dudes, they will throw money any kind of way because they're not working for it. That dude that went and
I won't say they're not working for it, but it's easy money.
Well, yeah, easy money. That dude that went and mowed lawns or washed cars or put boxes on a truck, he came by his money the hard way. It's going to be a lot harder for him to part with it than somebody that just did some things and came into some money, because that money means nothing to them because it was easy money.
I say it all the time. I love me a blue collar man.
Yes, I do.
I love me a blue collar.
Yes,
you in your work uniform and you're working hard. And
I
at the construction company,
like a uniform of any kind. Military uniforms
military men are red flags. Absolutely not.
Well, no, I love a soldier.
I love a soldier. In theory, yes, I love that you are going and you're fighting for people and you're fighting for us to have rights and helping get people out of bad situations.
Are the closest thing to real superheroes.
Mom, let me touch your hand when I tell you military men are a red flag. I'm so sorry.
You're not gonna shade on military.
I'm not shading. Okay, let me put a disclaimer. I like military people. I respect y'all. Thank you for your service. But every military dude I have talked to.
One of the things I learned as a teacher: never say all.
I can say every man I've talked to.
Okay, you can say ones you talked to.
Every military man I've talked to has been a little ticky, ticky, boom, boom. And they all want to get married really fast because they feel like they're finna go to war and not come back.
Well, I'm so sorry. I don't know about all that. I just love men in uniform. And then that includes work uniform. Like if you got a job, because I have always, my thing is I love a BMW, black man working.
Oh, yes, I was like, what?
Yes, ma'am. All day, black man working. Legally, let's put that on the table.
Yeah, don't be scamming.
Yeah, I don't. Anyway, but yeah, if he's working for his money, I can't tell him how to spend it. If we're in a committed relationship, I would expect sometimes if he cares about me, he's gonna want a treat. But there should be no expectation, especially when you're just getting to know someone. Grow up, ma'am. Buy your own stuff.
It's so enlightening when you have like male friends and you see the girls that they're talking to and what they expect. Because my male friends be telling me all their business. Love y'all.
They might not tell you anymore.
No, they know I'm talking about them. Love y'all. Anyway, but like the girls that be talking to sometimes, I'm just like, why? Like, yeah. Why? I'm so confused as to why you talking to a girl that's asking you for money.
If they're complaining about the fact that she's always got her hand out or whatever and stuff, well, sir, that should tell you something. I just be like,
look at who you picking. Anyway.
Moving on.
Before they like text me and cuss me out. Yeah. But the next segment is let me put y'all on. And I really want to normally I do music because I'm a music girly. I love music, but the later segments will cover my music obsession. But today I want to talk about the movie that came out on Netflix that we got a chance to see at the American Black Film Festival in Miami in June. Turn up. But They Clone Tyrone. It is a movie directed by a black man, starring black characters, featuring black stories, and it was so good. Like I feel like the message behind it, the creativity behind it, the cinematography, like everything was really well put together. So, did you enjoy the movie when we saw it, and what were your thoughts on it?
I enjoyed it. Because you had a really eclectic mix of sci-fi, drama. And then comedy. It was, I don't know when he made the movie because Jamie Foxx was in it, and then he got sick and had that whole health scare. So I don't know where time-wise thing happened. But he, of course, if you know Jamie Foxx, he's hilarious. the lady that was in the movie, that one of the stars.
I forget her name.
I can't remember her name, but she was hilarious.
She killed it.
She really did. And then the message behind the movie, it was very thought-provoking. And when we were at the film festival watching it with the audience, you could tell by that, because we watched it in June. It came on Netflix in
like maybe a month later,
or
a couple
later.
weeks later. I don't know.
You could just tell in the room that it was going to be a hit with people. Just very thought-provoking. I thought it was a good movie.
Like, while we were sitting there and like hearing the reactions, I was just like, oh, this is going to blow up. And then when it came out, it got good rating after good rating. It was like one of the best performing movies on Netflix, I think, when it, like, you know, during its run.
Didn't it do well on like Rotten Tomatoes or one of those?
It did. I think it got like 100% or 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good
a good movie. Very thought-provoking.
And I feel like it opened up a space for Black people to be in sci-fi in a way that we have not seen Black people in sci-fi. Because, you know, I'm a big nerd. I love Star Wars. Like, I watch most of the Star Trek movies. I love Marvel. Like, I love the world of sci-fi. And I love, like, kind of going into something that is either something that could happen in the future or something that's just, like, really off the wall that would never happen in real life. And I feel like Black characters are never in sci-fi movies, and they're never in horror movies in a way that I would like to see. You gotta
avoid never, because they're in there sometimes, but they're usually not the main characters.
They usually die first. If we keep it in the book, like, they usually die first, especially in horror movies. And what horror movie have you seen or heard of? I don't do horror. Okay, but what horror movie have you seen or heard of where the Black character does not die first?
I can't think, because I avoid horror. I don't like it.
We always dying first. Anyway. Anywho, Big Lone Tyrone. Also, this wasn't planned, but while we're talking about Black people being in film spaces that we're not normally in, The Blackening. I went to see it with my friend Sachin. Amazing movie. It was super funny, and it was a Black horror movie, and the Black people survived.
Well, in the latest Haunted Mansion movie, didn't it have quite a few Black characters in it?
Yeah, they kind of made it a Black Haunted Mansion. Like, on the low, it's basically like a Black version of Haunted Mansion, a little bit. But I wouldn't say the Haunted Mansion was a horror movie.
It was
more like a kid-friendly, funny, like, horror-ish movie, but, like, nobody is actually going to really be scared. But, like, The Blackening had, like, the jump scares, and it had the intensity, and it had the mystery. But it's still focused on, like, Black characters, and, like, the jokes were centered around just kind of that culture, and, like, just it felt nice seeing my people represented in a space that normally you would not be in.
Yeah, I mean, they cloned Tyrone. It was just the plot twist, and I'm not gonna do a spoiler,
the plot twist.
But the plot twist, and it's like, okay, because it dealt with some of the issues that are underlying in the community. And it kind of dealt with it in a really unique way. So, so I definitely think that it's something that everybody should check out if you have not checked it out by now, because it's been out for a while, but it, just to bring it to the attention of those that may have skipped over it, you definitely want to watch it.
I feel like the main message behind the movie, without giving any spoilers, is that there are outside forces controlling the narrative of the Black experience, specifically in this country.
All the time.
And, like, that doesn't give a spoiler, and you wouldn't expect that from a sci-fi movie, but it really shows how, like, you think as a person living in society you know what's going on, but really you're being pre-programmed to expect certain things and act in certain ways based on a whole host of different factors. And it's just kind of a never-ending cycle of, like, how do you break out of it and kind of expose everything that's really going on in the world. But anyway, I wish I would have minored in film sometime so I can go on and on and on about that. But I feel like we're really in our Black creative era. We're really in our Black creative vibe because, we're here. We're making a podcast. We're being Black women in charge, mother and daughter. But you know what other mother and daughter is really inspiring me lately? Like, what other mother and daughter we saw and we was tuning them with when we went to Raymond James Stadium the other day? Miss Beyoncé Giselle knows what?
Okay. One more time. We'll get it. Go ahead.
Miss Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter. There we go.
I'm proud of you because I didn't know all the middle names. Okay.
I'm part of the Beehive.
Okay. I'm not a part of the Beehive in the same way. I am.
Why are you admitting that on national my YouTube channel?
I do not want to perpetrate a fraud, but there's a good thing about that because I'm not a part of the Beehive in a certain kind of way, but I still give Miss Knowles Carter her props Because number one, even when I, because I was not a part of Beehive at all. Like, I didn't get it. And then I watched Homecoming.
Who made you watch Homecoming?
And I was like, oh,
who made you watch Homecoming?
Okay, so that's what this is about, because she killed that. And to see her, the performance, of course, because it was Beyonce, was awesome. But to see the behind the scenes and how invested she was in every aspect of that, it was amazing. So that's when I was kind of like, okay, I need to pay closer attention to this. Knew she was a great performer. When I went to the concert on Wednesday, it just confirmed, okay, she's that girl.
Is that girl.
And as a mother, my favorite part of the whole concert was, and everybody was waiting for it because we had all seen it on the different social media platforms, her bringing her daughter out and saying to the world, this is the next generation of Bad B. She's young now, but y'all get ready because I'm already preparing her to take over the throne. Their performance together, and then I was very excited that because at every show, her daughter has come out in
not at every show, for different reasons.
Shows she'll wear different color, different costume, whatever. Just by coincidence, she came out in the camo portion of the show, and me and my baby were wearing camo, so I was like, okay, like
we were twinning them.
It was a wonderful show. But let's talk about the fan.
Okay, well, first I want to talk about my experience, and then we can talk about the fans.
Okay, go.
Because I was super excited. Like, all of my friends were sick and tired of hearing about, I'm going to see Beyonce. Like, the whole 2 weeks leading up, I was like, nobody talk to me crazy. I'm finna see Beyonce. At work, I changed my shift. So I was working from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. so I could go see Beyonce. Like, that's how serious I was about my fandom. So when I walked through the gates of Raymond James Stadium in my outfit, in my camo, in my like glittery top, I was like, okay, we here. Okay. Then we sit down, and it was just like, okay, we gotta wait. Hopefully it don't rain, nothing happens. Like, the whole time I was anxious, like, okay, something's gonna happen and she's not gonna perform, and like I wasted my money and I wasted my time, and I still didn't get to see Beyonce like I've always wanted to since I was a kid. And then I'm literally recording. And I'm telling my followers on Instagram, y'all follow me on Instagram at May_June_Gemini. Anyway, I'm telling my Instagram followers, she still ain't out yet. She probably won't hit the stage until 9 o'clock, because that's what I had heard at work, because I work in news. So I was like getting like information super fast while I was on my shift. And as I hit post on that, all of a sudden lights go out, beat drops, the Renaissance logo pops up, and I'm like, y'all, it's time. So then we just like, everyone's just like screaming, waiting impatiently, because like slowly, like you see a picture of her like popping up, and it's like popping up. And then I forget like what you heard first. Did she start singing immediately? My mind is going blank now.
I think, well, you heard the music, and then I think she did, like you started to hear her
you
voice.
heard Dangerously in Love. And I was like, oh, it's time.
Yeah.
Her voice, the angelic voice of Beyonce, it's coming through my earwaves. Live in person, for real. Like, we breathing the same air right now in this Tampa heat. So she did her whole performance. In every video I took, all you hear is my loud behind voice screaming all the lyrics, because I know every single one of them, and pretending that I was myself, Beyonce, on that stage. And it was amazing, unforgettable time. I wish I could have gotten floor seats, but at the same time, when you were on the floor seats, based on what I could see, you couldn't sit down, you couldn't rest, and you're right there, but like also you can't really see the full production. Yeah. Also, one last note before we start talking about the fans, the voguing portion of her show that she included, when I tell you them dancers ate down,
it was ridiculous.
Like, one girl was doing a handstand into a split, did a twerk, flipped over into a death drop. I said, girl, you got it. I don't know how you did that, but you did it and you ate, and I'm amazed. And it was a good little transition. Like, Twins, they killed it. Yep. Blue Ivy, she killed it. It just, everything was perfect. And I don't understand how a show could be that perfect so consistently. Like, the amount of work. I can't wait to see the documentary. I know she's cooking up for this.
Yeah.
Because the amount of work to do a world tour, take all of these, like, they were setting up at 3 a.m. when I was, like, headed to work. When I was there at, like, 5, they were still setting up. By the time we got there at, like, 7:30, 8 o'clock, everything on stage just waiting on Beyonce to come out. Like,
they had it down to a science.
They had it down to a science.
They probably, like, they have done it so much they had it down to a science. I just seeing Beyonce live. Of course, Emari was much more excited than I was. But I have to say, she was very beautiful. Like, duh, that's not a newsflash. But seeing her in person, I actually got a glimpse of her humanity, and that sounds kind of crazy, but let me explain. She is such a good performer. She always kills it. She seems like, like this is just, what she does. But sitting there, because she's on this gigantic Jumbotron, I could just see in her face the shyness. Like you could see something that you hardly ever see. It's, even in interviews, I've never seen her look so innocent and shy. And you could tell that her gratefulness for the fandom was genuine.
I love y'all, Tampa.
She very much was giving the whole Michael Jackson "love you too" kind of thing, but it came across as very genuine. I could see when her daughter hit the stage, the pride. The only thing that was not even better than, that was equal to Beyonce in that performance was the love from the fans.
You mean Michael Jackson? You said Beyonce.
No, I meant Beyonce in this moment. The love from the fans.
I'm confused. What? Because
everybody showed up for her.
Oh, you're saying like in the terms of the preparation and dedication to like the situation?
Honey, it was like if you were at that concert and you were a fan, the fans loved you for being a fan.
No, it felt like a family reunion.
It felt like everybody was like, yes, we are here.
And everyone
had together.
Everyone had sense and decorum. Like everyone was just like, we just enjoying the moment.
Everybody was polite. And the outfits. Wait. Let's discuss some of these outfits.
Okay, because some of them wonderful. Like they took the vision of the Renaissance tour and they made it a outfit and they killed it. Now other people, just because you're going to see Beyonce does not mean that you need to be naked outside.
And just because you're going to see Beyonce does not mean we forget all the rules of society and just can put anything.
Because I saw bare booty cheeks way too many times.
Way too much.
And there was a bare booty cheek next to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like.
And it wasn't even a cute bare booty cheek situation.
It was just like.
It was kind of like, why?
I didn't understand why you would want to sit down at a football stadium with your naked behind exposed.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of that. Like, okay, they're not going to know who I am. They probably won't even hear this, but there was a couple there.
No, the couple. I was so jealous. I was so jealous.
Barbie.
They were adorable.
So
okay,
cute.
Y'all probably from Tampa. If y'all ever see this, it was a black man that, I'm sorry, sis, but your man was fine. I'm not a homewrecker. I just got to state fact. Your man was fine.
He was so handsome.
You did well, my sister in Christ. He had on like black overalls, had the tattoos. I think he had on sunglasses. Didn't he have on sunglasses? Looked like he had just got his fresh haircut. Girl, don't let him go nowhere by himself.
Nope.
And then she, amazing, had on the cute little skirt with the top, like they were twins.
I usually don't go for the whole cowboy boot thing. But she killed it. They were the cute. They got my vote for cutest couple. They don't know who we are, probably never hear this, but they were adorable. Black and white themed outfit. She was just as cute as she could be. He was handsome. They looked like black
They will
Barbie
have gorgeous children. Y'all better never break up.
Yeah, but. Okay, so that was a positive look. I saw so many different shades of pink, metallic that was hot. I saw cute shoes. People that took the picture of me and Emari together, thank you so much.
I don't know if y'all will ever see this.
Yeah, she had on a cute little corset top and cute little shoes. But again, some of the people I'm like.
Okay, and then also there were some people I feel like I was questioning, like, did you know you was coming to a Beyonce concert? Or did you think you was going to Walmart and this was just like a stop?
That's not nice.
I'm sorry.
That's not nice.
But I'm just like, because obviously, okay, if you're there, like, you have the financial means to be at the Beyonce concert. It was expensive. Where we were sitting specifically was very expensive.
Yeah.
Why you ain't got the fit to match the occasion?
Because everybody has their own style. I respect
it. Wasn't
that.
even about style. It was just about, it looked like they was finna go have a picnic.
It's like,
in the
why
prairie.
are you, and even people's outfit choices, I don't care about that, but just the nakedness in public situation, and then Yeah, I was bothered by some of the stuff that I saw.
And then also I saw a couple little kids there, and I'm just like, why?
That was the other thing. Why would you bring? Well, I mean, not to give people parenting advice, but like some of the little kids,
they ain't gonna enjoy it. They don't know what's going on.
I just felt like that wasn't necessarily
like
the
13-year-old. Okay, yeah, whatever. Or maybe they want to see Blue Ivy. I get that. Like they're inspired by Blue. Like she gonna be their generation of Beyonce for my generation.
Yeah,
but I'm not paying $300 for my 5-year-old to see Beyonce.
Some of them probably pay more than
drop
that.
it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. That's not the place for the 5-year-old.
Well, some of them, yeah, I don't know. And it may have been that they worked at the stadium and their kid didn't have to pay.
Maybe.
I don't know. But but the vibe was very nice. Overall, everybody like was there to celebrate a Black creative that is super, super amazingly talented.
Like it just exuded like Black power, like
not even just it wasn't. To me, it was female.
Well, to me, it was
power.
Black female power because I'm a Black woman, so that's how I interpreted it. But I feel like Beyonce is an artist for everybody.
Speaking of that, I was surprised at the number of older people
there were a lot of older people there.
And the crowd by no means was all Black.
It was like there were people of all races, all shapes, sizes,
genders. You know, of course, Beyonce attracted a lot of gay fans. And,
the LGBT
and some of them
scene
had the best fits. Like the
best
represented best fits, best energy. The one guy that was next to us, his beat was fabulous. Like fabulous.
He had the makeup
It's
together.
like, you are beautiful. Like he had a beautiful face. Beautiful face. Outfit to me was not necessarily the best choice for him, but he was beautiful.
I just don't understand why he was like the booty was out, but the makeup ate.
Yeah, he was beautiful.
The makeup really ate. But I will say this isn't a negative for Beyonce by any means. This is a negative for our local like media. Some of our now let me be clear. I went through a Taylor Swift phase when I was a child. I literally learned how to play most of her songs on the piano because me and Taylor Swift. We had a time. We had an era.
She was a nice transition from childhood music to older music for you. Because,
no shade
because
by saying that.
No, but I'm saying because her lyrics and stuff were very poppy.
Yeah, it was very poppy.
Teenage angst type.
But my
lyrics.
issue is it's not with Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift is
she's doing her thing.
She's doing her thing too. My issue is that a lot of the media outlets did not cover Beyonce in the same way that they covered Taylor Swift. Because with Taylor, I remember seeing prep and do this and do that, and Taylor's coming. With Beyonce, it was like the day she got here, all of a sudden everybody cared that Beyonce was coming. It depended on
the network. I'm not going to say which network, but one of the networks did a really good job. Like their whole... Yeah.
And you know why that is? Is because the staffing,
I guess,
is more diverse.
I guess. Because
a lot of people that weren't covering it, because a lot of networks didn't really cover it the way that I would have wanted to see it covered as a fan. And like it's not like we're talking about some like D-list. We're talking about Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce. Like, let's be so for real. A lot of the people that didn't cover it, I feel like it's just because they weren't fans. And
that's kind of anything.
But
though.
I feel like that's why I feel like it's important for me to be in the media industry. That's why I feel like it's important for my colleagues to be in the media industry.
You got to have somebody in the room.
Because you need balance. Yes, we need people that care about Taylor Swift, and we also need people that care about Beyonce. And we also, as people that are in the media, have to be very conscious of how much we care about our audience, because that restricts your ability to grow and gain more people in your audience.
Yeah.
Because if you're too focused on the algorithm and too focused on this group of people really likes what we do, what about the other group of people that would be more than willing to join, Team B?
Yeah.
But you're not providing anything for them. You're not giving them any substance. You're not allowing them to be like, hey, like this is a cool place to come get information. If you're too focused on your own, that's just my sugar honey iced tea, as my friend Bree would say. Like,
but Taylor's doing her thing. No shade to her.
No shade to her at all.
Yeah,
I just wish I would have seen more, because everything that I saw in terms of navigating the concert and figuring things out came from TikTok, and I don't want to get my news from TikTok. Yeah. But that's where the news for us is usually located.
I'm happy that, I don't know if you saw the guy that did the mural for Beyonce. She did see it, and she
did?
She posted on her social media. She did.
I didn't know
Yeah, I just heard that right before we did the podcast.
I'm so happy for
him.
him.
I'm thrilled for him because I know he just
I would have lost my mind.
I know his shoes are not dirty because his feet are not touching the ground. But yeah, he wanted was for her to know about that, and she did.
I saw an interview, and he said like she doesn't even have to. All she has to do is say mural, and I'll be happy.
And she posted about it on her social media. So I'm so happy for him.
I'm very happy for him.
Yeah.
Well, the Beyonce concert is over. Now I got to find a new concert to go to because I feel like that should be my new thing in my 20s. I'm all about getting new experience now, especially now that I have a job and I can afford it. LOL.
You have bills, sweetie.
Yeah, but also I don't have kids, therefore
That's true.
I can spend my money on stupid things that you probably wouldn't spend your money on because you have me. You got to take care of me, obviously. Oh. Anyway, but I feel like my new thing should be like concert going or traveling, or like we were saying, we need to get our passports so that way we can travel outside of the country because that's my next big goal.
Yeah, look for us in Europe or somewhere pretty soon.
You know, like find me at Mykonos. But that was time for Ask a Gemini, and you had a question for me. Actually,
I do. So my question to you is: now that you're a big old 21, you're legal in all 50 states. You're legal for the military, alcohol,
how many little drinky drink?
Yeah, whatever. Now that you are 21, let's flip the numbers back a little bit, and I want to know from you what is the difference between 21-year-old Emari's thought processes and 12-year-old Emari. Like what has changed, or since you're now older, wiser, more mature, what's a perspective that has changed since you become an adult?
A lot. Okay. A great deal. Because 12-year-old Emari was very sheltered, very immature, very childish.
Actually, I challenge that. You weren't immature. You were sheltered, definitely.
I feel like I was immature in terms of how I saw life. Like, I didn't have enough life experience to know, like, real deal what life was. Because when I was 12, I thought that by now I would be engaged and married, which I don't understand why I thought. Well, I do understand why I thought that. You met your ex when you were in middle school, and then you got married 2 weeks after graduating from the University of South Florida. When I graduated from the University of South Florida, I said bye to all of my friends, and I went to Philadelphia for vacation. And then I came back home and went to work. So I think when I was a kid, I just saw like love and relationships as complete fantasy. Like I thought everything was going to be like a Disney princess movie, and I was going to meet the man of my dreams, and I was just going to like be head over heels and be like, oh my God.
Well, that was kind of what you saw on TV, and kind of in a way ish was somewhat my life. A
little bit. And then you got a divorce. And then I went through a phase of saying that I didn't want to get married at all because what was the point?
Yeah.
And now I'm back to one day I do want to get married. I just don't want to get married now.
Right.
Because I want to still be able to travel and, kind of live out my dreams a little bit before I'm tied down to having to be somebody's wife and having to have that level of accountability.
If you're with the right person, you can still do all that you don't have to necessarily get married right away. I believe in long engagements.
And I would do a long, like if somebody, ain't nobody I know right now that's going to propose to me. But if somebody were to propose to me right now and I actually liked them, or I shouldn't say like, if I was in love with them and I said yes, it would be a very long engagement.
I believe in long engagements.
It would be a long engagement.
People can audition. We've talked about this before. People audition for a long time. You got to give them a chance to stop auditioning. Take the mask off. You also got to do some investigating. I hate to be cynical, but you got to find out what their family background is. And as much as you say, well, you're not marrying the family, you're marrying them, you kind of are. And so you need to find out who you're going to be dealing with. Who are your kids possibly going to be around, that kind of thing. So it's kind of my fault that you thought by now you would be engaged and married or whatever and
High School Musical.
But I'm so glad that you're not, and I'm so glad that I was able to make a lot of mistakes that you hopefully learned from and don't have to make yourself. I know there's these people out there that say you have to let your kids make their own mistakes. Yeah, if they have to make them, but if I can prevent you from having to go through any type of drama or stress or pain, I'm going to do that.
But I will say I do wish that I would have had more experience with like dating and figuring that out at a younger age. Yeah. And it wasn't my fault or anybody's fault. It was just like life, and especially COVID, because by the time I was like an adult and I really could
Yeah,
like,
by the time you
date.
were dating age, a whole bunch of crazy.
Like, I really couldn't because nobody could go outside. But because now I feel like I'm like a grown woman and I'm kind of starting where I feel like a freshman in high school. No, that's an exaggeration. A senior in high school would be starting.
But oddly enough, even with me having had the life experience I had, I'm still kind of in that same situation.
That's because you got married when you was too young.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to get married at this age because I feel like if I would have had, like, a lot of experience in high school and a lot of experience in college uninterrupted, then I feel like I probably would be ready to get married right now because, like, why not? But because I feel like I want to experience being single and being single as an adult for a little bit longer, or even if I'm in a relationship, still not, like, I don't want to be, like, living with somebody right now because I want to get used to living by myself.
No, we don't do that.
Before I'm, like, living with somebody else and getting used to that. And I don't want to get used to being in a couple where I feel codependent on that person in the early stages of my adulthood. Like, I want to be completely self-sufficient, able to take care of myself while, like, just dating, you know?
Yeah,
being
well,
chill,
and
being
then
casual.
After that comes the dink stage. I always tell you, be a dink as long as you can. For those of you that don't know, a dink is a double income, no kid situation. That is the best life because you got two incomes. You have surplus funds if you use and manage your money right. You can go and do these things, but I advise any young woman, any young man, don't rush into marriage and then a child right away. Because children lock you down. I tell people all the time, having a child is a life sentence. You will never. My mom is 73 now, and she still wants to know that I made it home safe. She is not going to sleep until everybody's tucked in. Having kids is a life sentence. It is the best life sentence you will ever experience. Like there's so many ups to it, but take your time. First, be single, live your life, and then become a dink, double income, no kids, for as long as you can before you add that child to that situation because it's a whole different ballgame.
And see, that's the only thing that would make me say, maybe I do want to get married right now. Is a double income would go crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, I would be able to do so much. Well, like, me and my husband would be able to
as long as you marry somebody with like-minded when it comes to finances.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Because
I'm not
marrying
somebody
that's
money.
irresponsible or that has a whole lot of debt, because we don't have debt. People, we don't have debt because I don't believe in that.
No, I don't have no student. Like, I literally have zero debt. Exactly. I'm only making money.
Especially since you always have the bank of mom to pay for whatever you don't want to pay for.
But I'm only making money at this point, so I want to find something. Now,
don't tell people that, because now you're going to have old creepy guys saying, oh, she has her own money. Don't put that out there. Because I'm telling you, there's somebody listening saying, and then when they audition, they're going to audition really well because they know what to say.
Well, let me say, just because I make my own money, I'm not funding your life.
Well, praise the Lord.
So, like, I got money. That don't mean you have money.
You have money.
Like, I have money. You have nothing other than some words and maybe some affirmations. Yeah. Like, no. Me having me taking care of me ain't got nothing to do with
that's it with anybody. Be able to take care of yourself. Be able to take care of yourself.
Even when, like, I always said, like, you know, I want to have my career and do all of that. And then, like, once I do have kids, I do want to be a stay-at-home mom because I don't want my kids, like, just being with random people doing random things or whatever. Like, I already know that I'll be a helicopter parent when that time comes. Mm-hmm. But even then, I'm going to have my nest egg and I'm still going to be able to be employable. So if I got to get, I can get. Because you never know what's going to happen. Like, your spouse could die. Your spouse could go to war,
or they could go through male menopause or anything.
They could have a psychotic break, you know.
So, like, because when I chose to be a stay-at-home, work-from-home mom, I had already worked and I had already contributed to the household to a point that I didn't feel any guilt for that because the things that we did have together, we had built together. And when
there was time for you to go back and take care of yourself,
guess what? Look at her. She doing that.
You were able to do it like
overnight.
Like, you literally went back to the same career that you had when you left it 17 years
because I left in the right way, so I was welcomed back in. And then when that, wasn't satisfying me, I was able to go and do what I'm doing now. So, like, always be prepared to take care of yourself. Never lean too far into somebody else taking care of you because you never want to be in that situation, that position. I was always employable. And that was the thing when I was at home. It was like in the back, because a lot of people question, well, you have more education and that people whose business it wasn't in the first place, but they had a whole lot of questions, a whole lot to say. And I always knew in the back of my mind, I'm at home now, but I'm employable. And when it became necessary for me to step back into the workforce, I was able to do that without any
Because I feel like
issues.
a lot of times, like, I've seen it happen to other people where they decide they're going to be a stay-at-home mom and they don't get the degree, or they get the degree and it just sits on a shelf and they have no experience. Mm-hmm. So when it's time for them to now, or even not even just if something bad happens, when your kids turn 18 or when your kids go to high school or middle school or whatever, you're not going to have to be taking care of them like that anymore. And you need I never want to be in the position where, like, my future kids and my future husband is the only thing that defines me. Yeah. I always want something outside of that, because especially for me, like, I like to take care of myself. I like to have my own things. I like to be my own person. So if I feel like if that were to happen to me, I would get too invested, and then I would kind of feel like
it's dangerous. Because I became just a mom for a good little while. Like, for a long time, I was just a mom.
Your life really revolved around taking care of me.
It revolved around taking care of you, which I don't regret, because look at you. But I caution that you should not ever let any one thing be your primary focus. You need to have, other things that you're interested in, involved in, or whatever and stuff, because then when it's time for, like in the case when it was time for you to go off and live I had to think about it. It's like, hey, what did I used to do?
No, because when I went to college, I was like, what is she gonna do now?
So like have some things that you can focus on, have some things that you can do, so that you're not sitting around. But I always laugh when people are like, oh, well, I was at home, but I was bored. Like, I ain't never been home bored.
The thing is upon having experience working now, I would much rather just have. I know this ain't going. This is not going help the feminist agenda.
No,
but I would rather be home with my future children, making them lunches and breakfast, versus be on somebody's job. Like,
well, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You can be at home, as you know. While I was at home with you, I invented and patented a product, licensed it internationally, started a blog. I did all kinds of things. So being at home doesn't mean that you're home not doing anything. For all the nosy people, like, what are you doing? I did a lot of stuff. Like, I've been on international podcasts. I hit every local TV news station that there was. Like, so if you're the type of woman where being at home is going to allow you to also do other things, then it can still be satisfying. I wrote a children's book. I didn't get it published, but it's in the American Dental Association library, because I wanted to teach Emari about hygiene. So what did? I wrote a book. If you are motivated, you can come up with things, do things. So you just kind of have to know who you are.
And also, it's easier. I feel like it'll be easier for me in the next 10 years. I had to think about that, because, I'm so young. But anyway, in the next 10 years, to, like, just kind of stay at home and take care of my kids, because technology is so much better now. Like, I can still work from home. I can still have my own things. I could still be doing this podcast and be a stay-at-home mom. Like, I feel like options are endless for women in a certain type of way in this day and age, where if you want to go to work, that's perfectly okay. I do not live to work.
I live to do the things that I enjoy doing. And if you can, like they say, if you can do what you love for work, then you'll never work a day in your life. So that's the goal. That's the goal that hopefully you have set for yourself. That's what I want to see for you, that you're doing something that you truly enjoy, so that you don't see it as work, so that you don't get burned out, you don't get sick of it, you don't get tired of it. And if you can find a supportive mate to be your cheerleader while you're doing that, not be jealous of you, not feel like you're too, because Emari's future husband, she is very extra. I birthed her to be extra. You're going to have to deal with the fact that she is a lot.
And I want what I want when I want it.
Yeah, so like you're gonna have to find someone that enjoys that extraness and that is gonna be your cheerleader.
But I feel like I'm also very down to earth.
You can cheer for. Like, if you can find a mate that you're proud of, that's doing productive things or whatever, be a power couple.
But speaking of working, another thing that I thought when I was 12 versus like where I am in my life now. When I was 12, I had absolutely no desire to be like in news or do anything like I majored in mass communication. Shy. I was extremely shy when I was a kid. I did not like talking to people. I did not like answering the phone. I didn't like calling. Like, I did not talk. Obviously, now I'm on a podcast where all I do is talk. So things change. But I thought that I was going to be a professional pianist or musician when I was 12.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like, I don't think that dream ever died of being like in music in some capacity, because like I'll still dabble with it in like my free time, and my drafts are definitely saved of me doing like random crap that nobody will ever see. But I just realized that like I didn't want to be a performer. Like, you know, being a Beyoncé is cool, but like I just realized that's not what I really wanted to do at a young age. And when I was like 16, you were getting interviewed because of your invention. And I met Stephanie Claytor, who used to work for Bay News 9 here in Tampa Bay. And she told me about a foundation that I could apply for. And it really opened the world of news up to me. And I was just like, oh, like, you know, being a reporter or being, you know, a content creator or something like that would be really cool. And that's how I ended up kind of on that track.
Yeah. That's evidence that kids learn what they live, because I dragged you from news station to news stations doing interviews, and you got to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So you have to be mindful of what your kids are shown and what they see, because they will take that in, and it definitely influenced you. You saw that career, you were interested, and thank goodness for Stephanie, because she came to do that interview, saw you, asked me, what does she want to do? What is it? And like really kind of helped inspire you to do what you're doing now.
But
so,
the reason why I started playing piano, because I know how to play piano. I'm a little rusty now, y'all, because I used to take it very seriously from the ages of 7 to I think like 17.
Yeah.
So for 10 years, you cannot tell me I was not going to be Alicia Keys. But now I'm a little bit more rusty, because like there's months that go by without me touching my piano that's at your house. But I started wanting to play because I saw Alicia Keys on like TV at like 7 years old. And I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And you were like, oh, I have this old keyboard from when I was in high school. And you drug it out for me. And I started like playing around with it. And I guess, did I ask you?
You started playing around with it, and I could tell that you weren't just randomly playing it. Like you were actually trying to figure it out. And I asked you if you wanted to take lessons, and you said yes. And when I took you to that first lesson, well, maybe it was second or third lesson, the piano teacher was like, I think she has like a really good ear. And she did this thing where she was like, okay, she made you turn your back and look at the wall.
I remember that.
And she was like, I'm going to play either 1, 2, or 3 keys. And you tell me whether you hear 1, 2, or 3 keys. And I'm thinking, really, lady? What kind of crack are you smoking? Like, what? And she did that, and I think she did that about 10 times, and about 7 or 8 out of 10 times you were able to tell her whether you could hear 1, 2, or 3 keys. And she was like, that is not necessarily usual for a young person. So she's like, I really do think that she has a good ear. So you did really well. And then bless her, Miss Khadijah Cooper took you under her wings and kind of continued to give you
That's
piano
where I
lessons.
developed a love for jazz. Yeah. Because before I would play a lot of classical, and I still like playing classical. But like that Duke Ellington book, I would be messing that up. I love jazz.
Khadijah. Thank you for her, and she was so sweet because she did lessons, didn't charge us a dime, because she just for the love of music and the love of kids. So that was wonderful.
So who knows? Maybe one day I'll turn into Alicia Keys randomly.
I don't know.
Probably not, because
I
can't
have
sing
told
like
you
Alicia
you need
Keys.
to do something act like Joe Jackson is your daddy, because I'm waiting.
But
to
see,
I
feel like for like my next birthday or something, I should go in the studio, right? Like hear me out.
Oh my God.
I should go in the studio. And I should just like write a song, make it, and then who knows, it could blow up. I could be the next Ice Spice.
Well, I'm waiting for blow up situation. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be like Lupe that travels with J-Lo. Like I'll be your Lupe. I will be your Tina Knowles. Let me know. I'll sign up for a Rich and Famous Mom 101. Like let me know. I'm ready to be a part of your entourage.
Well, I gotta work on the vocal cords a little bit and get my singing voice together or something.
All right.
But What is our Gemini gem for today?
Okay, so my Gemini gem for today is, even though I don't wear a lot of makeup, anybody that knows me knows if I got on eyeliner and mascara and some lipstick, I'm done. Is
that all you have on right now?
That's all I have on right now. So either you
I be trying to put you on the concealer foundation game.
No, ma'am. It's too hot, and I need to be able to go in the restroom at any given time and just splash some water and keep it pushing. I'm pretty much natural. What you see is what you get. Other than some SIB hair. For those of you that don't know, some I bought.
Oh my God.
Other than some SIB hair every now and then.
Okay, but just for the record, this is my real hair.
That's hers. That's hers. That comes from the other side of the family. I'll give them credit for that. Beautiful hair, all of them. But other than SIB hair, what you see is what you get. But if you are a makeup wearing individual, do not spend money on those makeup wipes that's, makeup removers, because they're expensive and they cost 3 times as much as some good old baby wipes. Get you some baby wipes. They remove makeup well. They take stains out of clothes, as a matter of fact.
And
but
they
baby
smell
wipes,
like very baby.
They smell very good. And I believe it's a similar technology. I don't know because I'm not a scientist.
We are not health professionals.
We are
so
not.
If you end up breaking out in hives, that is not our fault.
This is not medical advice. This is just a suggestion. But baby wipes are less expensive. The cloths tend to be a lot bigger, and they remove makeup very well. So that is my Gemini gem for today.
Okay, so my Gemini gem is also makeup related. And I have very naturally thick eyebrows. Like now I'm hitting the mic. Lord.
Get it together.
I have very thick eyebrows. And normally they're just like really crazy. But I learned from TikTok that if you put some eyelash glue that you normally would put for like strip lashes or individual lashes, and you kind of like brush it through your eyebrows with like one of the little things, it lays your eyebrow. Like my eyebrows are...
They're in place.
They're in place, and I didn't have to fill them in because when I fill in my eyebrows, I be looking like a Sesame Street character. Like it don't look good. They're already
so thick.
They're already really thick, so I just need something that will lay these hairs down, and I don't want to arch them because I like the natural shape. So anyway, eyelash glue will be your best friend, and even if you want to fill in your brows, it helps lay your natural brows down, so that way you can fill them in easier.
And let me just shout out real quick because that was my niece. I love you, niece. Texting me to say she was watching episode 1 of the podcast.
Oh,
and
she's watching it.
Good. So let me shout out. We love you. Thank you for watching.
Rihanna.
Hopefully you'll watch this one too.
Yeah, hopefully she will. But that is all for this third episode. We chugging along, and hopefully y'all will keep watching and keep tuning in. But thank you for joining us. Do not forget to comment, like, subscribe, share it with your homies, share it with your friends, share it with your man so he can learn how to act. We out here giving advice,
and you don't have to take our advice. It's just our thoughts.
But that is the end. So, period.